I underestimated Bridgerton. And that's not to say that I didn't think the show's writing was already great, but this twist in the plot pushed past the depths of storytelling in this show. It opened new doors about themes that are so mature and heavy that it makes you ask yourself if you're even watching the same show. It created dialogue and opportunities for characters to fully dive into what makes them who they are. And here's why. It may be the best stretch of episodes in Bridgerton history.
You have 8 children. 8 pieces of your husband. Remember him by 8. And what did I give John? Nothing.
Why can the viewer, me and you, feel the heaviness of the weight from this scene? I could tell you about how it's tragic about what happened to John. I could tell you about how sad it is to see a character that you have gotten to know cry and suffer. But what more than that? I think it rests all on the theme of this episode. To me, that's where the brilliance of these final 4 episodes of season 4 thrives. The theme that's told through the lens of Francesca this season is grief. I called it mature earlier because Bridgerton has never dived this deep into the weight of a heavy topic like this. At least not this personal before. The episode doesn't pull any punches through any minute. It doesn't just tell you that Francesca is heartbroken, it makes you feel it. It's the unfiltered reality of having to watch her not just lose her husband, but lose what little piece of him she hoped to carry with her. It's in every still face, every attempt of watching her be emotionless because the emotions would be too hard to bear if she were to let them become real.
Are you truly alright, sister?
Hyacinth, please.
I can't believe he is gone.
But everyone experiences grief differently. I think that's another way the writing was delivered perfectly.
It is all right to be frightened. What happened to John, it is beyond awful. It frightens me too more than I care to admit.
Frightened and fear was the perfect word. The writing that's pushed through Hyacinth is some of the more human aspects within this theme. It's the realization that something so sudden and tragic can happen, but then asking yourself, what if that happens to me? That makes it feel so human. Watching this episode, the biggest emotion for me outside of sadness was in fact fear. Because what this episode in Bridgerton explores is how daunting grief can be. How human and world-stopping grief can feel. It's something so heavy and gut-wrenching that it's honestly hard to continue to even type the word in this script.
Some things are out of our control. But what is in our control is our ability to support one another and ensure that we do not allow fear to keep us from experiencing something that could be truly special.
And if the question that this episode brings up is about fear and lack of control in grief or love, then this is how it answers it. And that's what truly makes a plot's writing great. The show doesn't look elsewhere to avoid the question to find the answer. It looks through the question itself to find the answer on the other side. It finds its answers through a foil character like Michaela, who literally in the midst of Francesca's grief is also on the other side of the door grieving in her own way. It's the tears you see streaming down her cheek that makes it feel real. And it's that foil character's heart to look for love and celebration in a tough time that brings Francesca back to herself.
I may ache at present, but the good John brought into my life far outweighs any pain I feel right now.
That may sum up all of season 4. It's a message delivering the idea that love may hurt in so many ways, can end in so many possibilities, but the way the show wraps it up is by saying the gift to experience love makes it far worth any heartbreak that could follow it. And it wasn't the only plot that thrived in this season. It wouldn't be right if I didn't give credit to everything else that built these 4 episodes. Because grief and Francesca is a main focus, but it's so much more than that lies beneath it. I honestly first think about Lady Danbury and Charlotte, a theme that's centered around saying goodbye and letting go. The relationship between these two was maybe last on my list of things I was expected to be shocked by when I walked into this season, but they hit it out of the park. I could rant about the rich story that the two carry from Queen Charlotte's story, but it really gets summed up in one scene and one laugh between two people who considered themselves sisters.
We have such fun together.
you do.
And the show doesn't need to verbally say too much about it. I love that it trusts us to see the longing and sorrow on the actors' faces for a relationship that they know will be taking a shift. I love how the laugh speaks louder than just about two older ladies, but about two young girls who have so much history together. But it's not just the friendships. That's never been what this show has hung its hat on. It's also the family moments, the moments where a brother comforts a sister in the only way that he knows how.
When you were very young, I would play this to make you laugh. I hoped it might still work.
Or the way a brother encourages a brother by realizing where his judgment was lacking.
In fact, the wisest thing I could impart is never listen to me again.
It's always been the human moments with this show. It's always been those moments when the dialogue finds a way to shine through brighter than any star. I don't know who has the pen behind these quotes, but they never end. They're packed with every line and span across the entirety of the show. It's Violet staring at an old painting, staring at old love, and thinking how she's misstepping and being the perfect mother. But then in the middle of all of that, being reminded that motherhood was never meant to keep her children away from imperfection.
If I may, Mom, your children do not need you to have all the answers, or even half the answers. They only need you to love them.
Or it's the simple moments that make Sophie a human character. She's simply serving tea, being a maid, but does the most human thing by seeing someone in need and deciding to help. I love the presentation of the show, how everything symbolizes what the show is trying to convey. Francesca in black everywhere she goes, as if it's knowing that the loss will never leave her. The way she refuses her mother's advice about saying goodbye, because she knows this is different. She exclaimed about the lack of children, but maybe bigger than that is how young she is, but still having to navigate it.
We are the same because we have both lost our husbands. We are not the same.
Or the covered paintings in both Francesca and Lady Danbury's houses, but yet for very different reasons. It's the way the show dared to ask about the limits of love and not just tell a story again, but actually make us question if the characters fighting so hard for love would get that wedding in the end. This season dared to challenge us as viewers with how much shifted, but in those moments, in the moments of allowing characters to be human and dance with one another through so many emotions is what made this 4-episode stretch maybe the best in Bridgerton history.